You recall it vividly. The precise details of a conversation, the exact shade of a distant memory, a moment etched into your personal history. You are certain it unfolded just as you remember. But what if the stage was never set, the words never spoken, the event itself nothing more than a ghost in your mind? Imagine memory not as a meticulously preserved archive, but as a fluid, ever-changing narrative, constantly being edited and revised. We tend to trust our recollections implicitly, believing them to be faithful recordings of past events, like perfectly preserved photographs in an album. Yet, the human mind is a far more imaginative storyteller than we often realize. From the quiet corners of our personal lives to the grand stages of courtroom dramas, the specter of false memory casts a long shadow. Consider the simplest scenario: two friends reminiscing about a shared childhood trip. One insists on a sunny afternoon picnic, complete with red-checkered blankets and buzzing bees, while the other vividly recalls a sudden downpour, forcing them to scramble for shelter. Both genuinely believe their version, yet both cannot be entirely correct. Pioneering research in the field of cognitive psychology began to dismantle the myth of memory's infallibility decades ago. Groundbreaking studies revealed that our minds do not store experiences as unalterable video clips. Instead, memory is a reconstructive process, piecing together fragments of information, logical inferences, and even external suggestions each time we attempt to recall an event. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, a towering figure in this field, famously demonstrated how easily memories can be distorted or entirely fabricated. In her seminal experiments, participants were shown footage of a car accident. When later questioned, simply changing a single word, like asking how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other versus hit each other, significantly altered their estimates of speed and even their subsequent recollection of seeing broken glass, even if none was present. This phenomenon, known as the misinformation effect, showcases how readily our minds integrate new, often misleading, information into existing memories. A subtle cue, a leading question, or an offhand comment can plant a tiny seed of doubt or an entirely new detail, which, with time, can blossom into a fully formed memory, indistinguishable from genuine experience. The original event becomes intertwined with the suggested narrative, creating a seamless, yet fabricated, tapestry. This isn't a sign of mental weakness, but rather a fundamental aspect of how our brains navigate the world. Our cognitive architecture prioritizes coherence and meaning over absolute factual accuracy. We are constantly striving to make sense of our past, weaving disparate threads into a continuous story, even if some of those threads are borrowed, invented, or subtly altered along the way. The delicate line between what genuinely happened and what we merely believe happened is far blurrier than we imagine. How do these phantom recollections take root and flourish within the intricate networks of our minds? The answer lies in several fascinating cognitive mechanisms that, while usually serving our adaptive functions, can sometimes lead us astray. One primary culprit is a phenomenon called source monitoring error. This occurs when we remember a piece of information, but forget where it came from. Imagine you're discussing a news event with a friend, and they mention a particular detail. Days later, you recall that detail, but attribute it to the original news report you watched, rather than your friend's comment. Your brain has correctly stored the information, but has mislabeled its origin, creating a memory that feels authentic to your own experience. Dreams, conversations, even vivid fantasies can all become mistakenly identified as actual occurrences, blurring the lines of personal history. Then there's confabulation, a more active form of memory distortion where the brain spontaneously invents details or entire narratives to fill gaps in memory, without any intention to deceive. The individual genuinely believes these fabricated memories are true. It's like a storyteller on the fly, crafting a plausible explanation for a missing piece of the puzzle, and then becoming convinced of their own tale. This is particularly evident in certain neurological conditions, but subtle forms can affect us all. Psychologists have even developed robust experimental paradigms to demonstrate the ease of false memory creation. The Disroediger-McDermott (DRM) paradigm, for instance, presents participants with a list of semantically related words, such as bed, rest, tired, dream, snooze, awake. Strikingly, when later asked to recall the words, a significant number of people will confidently claim to have seen the word sleep, even though it was never presented. The brain, seeking patterns and meaning, creates an association so strong that it becomes a perceived memory. Beyond these intrinsic processes, our imaginations themselves hold a powerful key to unlocking false memories. The concept of imagination inflation reveals that repeatedly imagining an event, even if we know it to be fictional, can significantly increase our belief that it actually occurred. Each mental rehearsal strengthens the neural pathways associated with that imagined event, making it feel more familiar and more real, until it's virtually indistinguishable from an actual memory. Finally, the social fabric of our lives plays a crucial role. Our memories are not formed in isolation, they are constantly influenced by the narratives shared by others. This collective suggestibility is famously highlighted by phenomena like the Mandela effect, where large groups of people confidently recall an event or detail differently from documented reality. Whether it's the supposed death of Nelson Mandela in prison in the 1980s or the spelling of a popular cartoon character's name, these shared misremembrances illustrate how powerful social consensus and exposure to misinformation can collectively shape and distort our individual recollection of the past, creating a pervasive and communal false memory. The profound implications of false memories ripple through nearly every facet of human experience, from the most intimate personal narratives to the bedrock of our justice systems. In a courtroom, an eyewitness's confident testimony, though sincerely held, can be the deciding factor in a verdict, despite the documented fragility of human recollection. Research consistently shows that the vividness and confidence of a memory bear little relation to its actual accuracy, a chilling reality for anyone relying on memory for truth. Consider the therapy room, where individuals grapple with traumatic pasts. The allure of recovering forgotten memories, though often well-intentioned, has been a contentious battleground. In some tragic instances, suggestive therapeutic techniques have inadvertently led to the creation of false memories of abuse, fracturing families and lives based on events that never transpired. This starkly underscores the ethical imperative to understand the deep vulnerability of our memory systems. But this isn't merely about flaws or malfunctions. The reconstructive nature of memory is also an elegant, adaptive feature of the human brain. Our minds are not designed to be perfect video recorders, they are dynamic systems, constantly updating and integrating new information. This flexibility allows us to learn, to adapt, and to make sense of a world that is always changing. It enables us to update our understanding of past events based on new information, even if that means subtly altering the original record. The neural mechanisms underlying these processes are still being uncovered by ChaMedia, but we know that memory formation and retrieval involve a complex interplay between various brain regions. The hippocampus, crucial for forming new episodic memories, works in conjunction with the prefrontal cortex, which is involved in source monitoring and verifying the accuracy of our recollections. When these systems misfire or are overwhelmed, the stage is set for fabrication. Ultimately, our personal histories, our autobiographies, are not rigid blueprints but living documents, continuously being revised and rewritten by our conscious and unconscious minds. Each time we recall an event, we don't just retrieve it, we subtly reconstruct it, influenced by our current mood, our present knowledge, and the context of the retrieval itself. This ongoing process means that who we were yesterday, in our minds, is subtly different from who we were in objective reality. This realization is not meant to inspire distrust in our own minds, but rather a profound appreciation for their complexity. The human brain's capacity to create coherent narratives, to fill in blanks, and to adapt our past to our present is a testament to its incredible plasticity. Our memories, even the fabricated ones, are part of the intricate, often beautiful, process of making meaning in a world of infinite data. They are the unseen architecture that shapes who we believe ourselves to be. Understanding the intricate dance between reality and perception deepens our appreciation for the marvel that is the human mind. If you find yourself captivated by the mysteries of human psychology, and the hidden depths of our own consciousness, consider joining the ChaMedia community. Subscribe to explore more profound questions that challenge our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.